everybody, welcome back to Suck Less Saturday. I'm Neil. I got these two guys here with me again. We're going to talk about, is it okay to mess around with your grip? And I think this is important.
You need a shot timer because that which gets measured gets worked on. The Range Tech Timer is the official timer of Active Self-Protection because it is versatile, reliable, feature-rich, and very economical. Check out all it can do at the link below. So here's an interesting thing, right? You go around the firearms training world, you're going to get taught different grip. You get people that want thumbs high. You get people that want thumbs forward. You get people like me who say pinky power is the way. You'll get other people who say your pinky don't matter. Now, I will say this. Grip principles are universal, right? The physics of a handgun are the physics of a handgun. However, application, super personal, right?
Oh man, we see that all the time.
All the time, right? All the time. Yeah. So again, I have a size XL hand. I actually have like size large fingers, but a little bit larger palm. Nothing next to Samuel, who has these giant palms and regular, I'd say like XL size fingers, but a very long palm. You have Neil on the other hand with these kind of thinner fingers and a shorter palm. He's like a carny, large hands. So what we're talking about is the way that we each do things is going to look a little bit different on the gun because of the differences in our hands, differences in our forearm strength, differences in our posture, those things. But the principles are universal. So one of the things that I always tell students to do is when you go down to live fire is to test it and to do a few. Now, of course, when I say test it, we're going to do like 10 shots each way here today, right? Because you won't watch a 40-minute video of us going through 3 boxes of ammo to do that. But of course, for you, I would really recommend think about this grip and then what are my sight tracking? What is the gun doing for a whole box? Then make a change, focus on that change for the whole next box, and then you probably, now you've spent $180 in ammo in 2021.
Yeah.
So then come back next month and do the same thing until you really get it dialed in. And so I think that if you'll do that, you've got to do that in one of two ways. I think the best way, personally, is if you have a Mantis X10, we put this on the rail and you get a lot of feedback quickly. So in maybe 10 or 15 shots, you can see what is it doing, right?
Right.
If you don't have that, you either have to run your sights and just be brutally honest with yourself. Are my sights coming up higher? Is it giving me more wobble left, right? So, and I'm going to be honest with you. Who is this talking to? It's not talking to a beginning shooter. Because for a beginning shooter, it goes bang, chaos, as Gabe White says, right?
Yeah.
Bang, chaos. And then eventually the chaos subsides, bang, chaos. And then the chaos subsides. I'm talking to the intermediate shooter, to advanced shooter, who is starting to see their dot rise and fall, starting to see their front sight, and track it in motion. So they can see, is it going off to the side like this, or is it coming straight up and back? When it settles, is it settling where I left it, or is it settling high? Where's this dot going? Am I seeing a pattern on an 8 here or whatever? So once you can start to see that, and that takes some rounds and some training and some practice, this drill becomes super useful for you, all right? So here's what we're gonna do. Neil, we're gonna have you do 10 rounds with your regular grip, so you've got a baseline.
Okay.
And then Samuel, we're gonna have you, again, 10 rounds. Right now, Samuel is suffering with a little bit of a hand issue, okay? So what I want you to do first is your normal everyday thing to the best of your ability, right? So then we've got a baseline. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a change for you, okay? And we're gonna make a change for you, and then we're gonna see what happens, and this will really help us suck less.
I love it.
Let's do it. We are good to go on this. You can shoot these at whatever pace that you'd like, and I just want you to feel your regular grip.
Okay.
So now what we're seeing here, your average recovery time of 0.67 seconds. Your muzzle rise, you're a monster with the muzzle, okay? So we're talking about 3-degree muzzle rise, a recoil angle. You tend to recoil angle a little bit right to left, and you see that in your dot.
Yeah, right? I do.
So it comes up right, comes back down left. Your average total recovery time, because you weren't shooting fast splits there, of 0.67 seconds. Okay, so now let's reset, and we're gonna do that again now. It's one that we played with just a little. Now what I want you to do is same thing, but with your thumb, especially your support side thumb, I want you to exert pressure on the slide. Start this again. You got 10 rounds, just drop it right to jump. It's an HK, it'll handle it.
Right. Okay, so now I'm going to put pressure here.
Now you're going to exert that pressure. That's a change with your grip. This is going to change how your fingers are putting recoil, and it change this as well. Now, everything else relax. I want you to do all your regular things.
Yeah.
Just exert pressure on the side. Go ahead.
All right.
muzzle rise now 5.39 degrees. So, I mean, a 5-degree muzzle rise for an intermediate to advanced shooter, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But I think that for you, your other one had significantly less.
Yeah.
The other thing that I noticed here, though, is that your recoil width did come in. Did you see a difference in your dot track?
I saw my dot tracking a little bit, but I was really, my mind was focused on my thumb, and everything just felt weird.
So here's what I see. I see a higher muzzle rise, but I see a narrower track. So that's an interesting thing. Is the narrowing of the track worth more than the 60% increase in muzzle rise? Given that you're going from 3% to 5%.
I would prefer the 3% because I feel like I get my shots faster.
But at least you monkeyed with it to try.
Right, at least I learned, yeah, and I'm messing with it. You know, and it might be something that helps a student at some point as we're in a class. And I'm like, you know, if you know, understanding these things always helps because it's just more tools in the toolbox.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's let Samuel do some. All right, amigo, we know that you're having a hard time with your dominant paw here, right?
I am.
So just do your best right now and let's just knock that down to 5 for you because we want to make sure that we're not, you know, causing undue stress. Just 5 of your regular. Okay? So we can see that. Very good. So, I know you've had this happen before. So what is your normal adaptation when you're having a hard time with your dominant hand?
It's just really trying to increase my support hand stability.
So let your dominant hand relax a little because it needs to, and increase the support hand.
Yes.
All right, now do the same thing. Now you've got to be the most honest guy in the world with your dot tracking. Well, I got to be real that from the coaching perspective, that looked pretty darn good. I mean, the gun's coming up, a couple degrees tops. So tell me about the difference in those shots in terms of what you saw.
My red dot was not floating anywhere out of the vertical column on the second time around. The first time around, I saw my dot go up and just slightly to the left. Second time around, I really concentrated on that support hand, really giving stability to my shooting hand, so the firearm would stay true. And it didn't rise very much, but when it did, it was straight up and down.
So now Neil can go home with his grip where he had it, continue to focus there. Samuel, as we're doing our dry fire at home, can come back and go more support hand pressure, easier here to let this little ligament challenge that we're having heal up while we still get our dry fire in, right? So here's my thing for you. Do me a favor, monkey with your grip a little bit on the live fire range, see what the results you get. You either got to be super honest with yourself or have a tool like a Mantis X10 to give you some objective data, and then use that information to work in dry fire, and that will help you suck less.